Hello, gorgeous tribe. Welcome to my live. I'm so pleased to see everyone here. We do have a lot of questions. I've got one flashing on the screen now. So Damilola Ayomide said she's been through betrayal and now she has issues with trust. How does she overcome trust? How does she overcome the betrayal again?
I think, first of all, to overcome the betrayal, it depends on, like when we're talking about a betrayal now, you have to take yourself out and get clarity. Those 3 steps are very, very important. You know, whatever happened, you need to process what happened first and dig into why those things happened. You know, was it that you let your guard down yourself? Was it that you were not sensitive enough? Or was it that, you know, you were just taken for a ride because you're a good person? What were the circumstances surrounding the situation that happens? Because each situation varies, you know, and once you are able to analyze that and get clarity, the healing process, you have to pick yourself back and give yourself a second chance. You know, the world is full of ups and downs. There's nothing permanent. You know, in life, you make good, bad, and the ugly. And it's never going to be rosy. We will meet people that are very dear to us who will betray us. But that doesn't mean there are no good people out there. So if you're not able to heal out of that betrayal, it doesn't mean, you know, forgetting about it, because there's a lesson learned in anything we go through. Go for the learning, pick the lesson learned, and then use that learning to set boundaries and guide yourself in any other relationship or in any other thing you need to do. Because good people are still out there, which you can trust. And I know it's difficult to trust, but you've got to set boundaries. That's a different topic entirely, you know. But the key thing is getting that clarity, giving yourself time to reflect on what happened and why those happened, and what you have done differently to avoid those happening, and take those learning into a new journey for yourself without depriving the people that actually needs the trust, because you'll meet people that actually are truthful, are good people like you, and you're compatible, so you don't lose the good people in the process of not wanting to trust, if you get what I mean. So please, I think that would really help.
I agree. I mean, one thing I would add to that is the fact that you've been through something does not mean you can't try again. There are people who have been divorced 3, 4, 5 times. They married the 6th time and they are treated as king and queens. So I remember when my body was betraying me for many years. I'm sure everyone on this live know my story, because that's what bettered Paula's Nuggets. I kept trying. I didn't say because my body had betrayed me, I'm not going to try again. So it's more like saying people are bad, so when you're walking, you just shut your eyes and walk in blindness. No, there's still good people, like Gloria said.
Absolutely.
So you just have to then learn from it. There's something we call lessons learned in project management. When you do a project, and whether it fails or you achieve what the project is about, at the end of that project, you must do a lessons learned. What have we learned? What can we do differently from these relations, from this betrayal, from this thing that we have ongoing? And that will help you move on to the next step. Another question we have here is, if they have children, she hasn't told us if they have children or not. But for example, you have this kind of deep betrayal and you have children. How do you hide it away from them? Or do you let them know? What can we do? Ria is asking us.
I think it depends on the age of the children. If they are very young children, they are quite vulnerable. You wouldn't want to expose them to things like this. And it all depends on decision you make anyway, after this whole process. We don't know what she did. Did she leave the man? Did they separate? You know?
We will know that next week. We will know that next week.
They,
For now, we're just processing all of this.
Okay, so did they still stay together? And the age of the children, if they're younger children, I would protect my kids from that trauma. If they're older, they will get to know the reason why we separated, if there was a separation. But if they're older kids who are matured enough or responsible and can handle, because kids these days, like you said, Gen Z kids, you know, if they're between 11, 12, even before that, they would want to know why things happen. You would have to find a subtle way to let the kids know that, you know, mom and dad are not going to be together again because, you know, there are things we need to sort out, you know. If they're enough, 18 plus, you can tell them exactly how it is because they're not stupid. They would know.
They would know. Definitely.
So I think it all depends on the situation and the ages of the children and the situation surrounding the kids and the decision of the lady in person.
It's really hard to hide it from children because, like I said, my oldest is 9. She's going to be 10 in August. And there was one time I was disagreeing in a conversation with her dad, and she heard me. The next morning, she called me to the corner and said, I heard you and Dad shouting. What were you shouting about? I said, no, we were not shouting. We're Nigerians. We talk loud.
We talk loud.
I was able to, get away from
that. Diffuse it, yeah.
They are so inquisitive that you cannot really hide a lot from them. So, like you said, it all depends on the ages of the children, how much information can they process at that time, and how you deliver it to them. So, Ria, I hope that answered your question. The next key question is, how long is one expected to heal? Because I find it hard to heal. That is from Lavivi.
Hi, Lavivi. It's difficult. There's no time frame for healing. It all depends on the magnitude of the issue at hand. It depends on you yourself, because it takes you to decide if you actually want to get to the point of healing. No one's going to do it for you. You know, it's a decision you have to make yourself, to let go and let yourself live. You have to, at some point, let go and let yourself live. And like I said, we don't know the situation surrounding this. You know, if you're not healing, maybe you're still situated within the problem itself or the betrayal. If you're outside of the betrayal, it will help with the healing. But if you're still surrounded by the betrayal, or you're still within the betrayal and the other person has no sense of remorse whatsoever, or there is no, change whatsoever, you keep reliving the betrayal every day you see the person. And the hurt is like an old wound you open every day, and healing will never happen. So if you want healing to happen, we don't know your situation. It's either you're still within the situation. Healing can never happen until you step away out of the situation, get healed, and come back. And stepping out could be speaking to a counselor, a therapist, speaking to someone who could help you walk the journey until you get to that healing stage. So that's the situation. And there is no time frame for healing, my dear. There is no time frame. It all boils back to you. If you want the healing, you would start the process. But if you're still holding on, it will be very hard for the healing to happen.
I agree. Very intentional. You have to be really intentional about what you're doing. Okay, thank you so much, Gloria. Let's see if we have any more questions. I can't see any more questions here. Okay, there is no timeline at all. You can't say because you got over something in 2 months. If someone else is going over it, they have to get over it in 2 months. It doesn't work that way. We are all different. We all process things differently. And there was one time when I was going through my journey to motherhood, there was one period after like 5 years of the last loss. I saw a couple have a baby on a telly program. It made one of these medical programs here in England. And I just started crying, like I was bawling, like I just had a miscarriage. But no. So when it comes to healing, you can't really tell how long it should take. And when I started Pulling Nugget, I believe that's when my healing really started, because I started to talk about it. I started to get mentees, women who are going through similar things, coming to me to ask questions. What do I do? How do I go through this? I had one that reached out to me on Instagram who had a stillbirth at 9 months. And for 3 weeks, she couldn't come out of her room. So she was in between herself and her 4 walls in the dark. Her sister got so worried, reached out to me and said, I've read your story in one platform. Please, can you reach out to my sister? And I knew it was a difficult one because she wasn't talking to anybody. She just wanted to be alone, which I 100% understood. So I reached out to her and, gradually held her hand. It took us some time before she responded, and I'm pleased to say she's fine now mentally. She's still going through the journey. It's a process, like I said, but I really can't tell her you have to get over it. No. The last thing you want to tell anybody going through a traumatic situation is get over it. You don't want to do that.
No.
So, yeah, my darling, it takes time, La Vivi. It could be 1 day, it could be 2 seconds. It just depends on how you process things. And if you find it hard to heal, if you're a believer like myself, if you're a Christian, you can pray to God. If you're a Muslim, whatever you believe in, pray to the supreme being that you believe in and ask for help. Because sometimes, especially when it comes to betrayal, you can't help yourself. You want to forgive the person, but you just can't. So things like that, I just go to God in prayers and I say, God, I really want to do this, but I can't help myself. Please help me. And the good thing about God is there's nothing too small for him or nothing too big. So bring everything just as you are, to him, and it's right there for you. Okay, thank you so much, Gloria. I really enjoyed this conversation. We are gradually now going to transition into our giveaway announcements. Gorgeous tribe. Thank you again for this wonderful, wonderful time and for all of your engagement on Instagram. Okay. And we are celebrating the people who have been watching Paula's Nuggets, learning from Paula's Nuggets, and growing with us. I have 2 specific people that every time I don't see their comments, I get worried. Where is Sabi Girl? Where is what's his name? Judith. So I've grown with them in the last 1 year. That if I don't see them, I start, have you heard from this person? I don't know them offline, but I reach out, oh, Sabi Girl, have you seen this person? Have you seen that person? Because we're growing together as a community now. It's not just a podcast, or it's not an entertainment channel. So for you to have subscribers, 91,000 subscribers who want to sit back every week to listen to what I have to say, I see that as a privilege. I see that as honor, and I'm really grateful. I don't take it for granted at all. So thank you guys so much. And I like to give back to the community because, that's another topic for another day, because I wasn't born with a silver spoon. And I think at some point in my life, over 35 years ago, I won't be able to afford data to even watch a stream or to watch a YouTube channel because I won't be able to afford it. So to have people spend their time, use their Wi-Fi, sit down and listen to you, yes, they get value from it, but they spend their time to listen as well. I really appreciate you guys. So thank you very, very much for growing with us. And so the next step, before I announce the winners, I want to talk about something important, guys. Instructions. It's very, very important. So when we say give a specific answer or in 1 line or in 2 lines, you get people writing paragraphs. I'm like, oh my God. Oh God. And the questions we asked were basic 2 questions. So over 90% of the tribe got the answers right. And I'm so proud of you. That just shows that you're watching Paula's Nuggets, you're learning from it, and you know what you're listening to. And I hope that's impacting your private lives as well. So thank you. Yeah. So how I picked the 5 was in the quiet, in the storm, there's a voice that keeps us warm. Through the tears and through the fight, Paula's Nuggets shine so bright. It's gorgeous, Paula.